Hello, and welcome to one of those tutorials that we do on this channel. This time around it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be Vray plus Grasshopper plus Rhino. And we're going to try and create this kind of a meadow that we see here on our screens. So that should be quite fun. I guess without any further ado, let's begin. So I'll start off with one of the projects that mine and my wife's company, architecture company, is working on. And this is just a work file, and it's not even a work file, it's a sketch file, meaning that, you know, we just test out different ideas for a building. In this file. So the first part of it all is going to be cleaning everything up, right? So we have a lot of crap from Archicad, I don't know how to pronounce it. And then we have a few cleaner layers here and there. So to clean it up, what do we need? Well, first of all, let's see. There are two instances here. Actually, let me speed this up so that you don't need to listen to me rambling, and then we'll move on to the interesting bit in just a second. Alright, so we have this done, and I've just cleaned everything up, deleted all of the necessary layers, and just kept the curves layer here and a few solids here. What the hell are you? Doesn't matter. So everything here is cleaned up and ready to go, and I believe I even have it. Yeah, that's right on the 000 mark. So now we need to start working on the meadow, right? So to begin, actually let me run Grasshopper here, because that's gonna take a while. And while it's starting up, while it's booting up, I will jump to a new file, a new Rhino file. Well, actually, it's not a new one, but here I have downloaded and set up, textured, and so on, different plants, right? So you can just, in Google, just search for free meadow plant and just download those files. Most of them are royalty free. So you can just use them and then just texture them any way you want. So I have dandelions, I don't know, these flowers here. I have a denser version of them here. I have cattails here. Some, some weird flowers here. Forgot the name of them. Doesn't matter. So that, and that, right? So a few models of them here. 7 to be precise. So the trick is, once you have them in cleaned up and everything is in the correct scale and so on, and you have them textured, you want to export them as a Vray proxy. So I'll just show it with one of them. So everything is grouped. This is 4 meshes, but everything is grouped into one group. And then I will just select export as VR mesh, like that. And then I will choose that it's a proxy mesh, and I will give it a name and the location, right? So whatever. And then, oh, actually I should show you. So let me say here, and I'll just say field plant example, because I already have done it for all of them, right? So I'll just say example. Hit save. Refined clustering is fine. Faces in preview, I don't need a lot. I'll just say either 100 or 1,000, depending on what kind of computer you have. I'll just go for 1,000. Overwrite existing files, sure. Replace object with proxy, sure. I hit export, right? and then it starts looking like this. You know, that's not great, but it's actually going to render out, you know, as the original one. Let's just wait, just like that, right? So it renders out nicely. The thing is that it also, once you export it as a proxy, where is it? What are you though? Doesn't matter. Once you export it as a proxy and you re-import it, actually right now it doesn't do it, and that's strange. It doesn't matter. It should create a multi-material which you also export, right? So why doesn't it do that? Geometries. I guess it's because it's the new version of Vray. Doesn't matter. Basically, with every proxy, you also export a set of materials, right? To pair up with that proxy. So in my case, I always use multi-material, and to export the material, you just click on it. You click, where is it? The save button here in the bottom, and you just save it, right? So here you can see I have 7 materials for my 7 flowers. Easy. So we have 7 proxies in total, and that's all you need, right? You just need some underlying geometry. So let me close that, and instead let me open up this proxy tutorial here and just see what I've done. Oh man. So that was done with an old version, but that's fine. We will make it work, and then we have, this is going to be my how do I explain this, notebook, right? If I mess something up, I can check it in the notebook. So we begin by referencing in the plants. Or actually, should we first set up the ground? Maybe we should first set up the ground. Oh, the sunlight is coming on my screen. I can't see much. Okay, let's start with the light, with the ground. So here I have a whole surface. Here I have a whole surface that could be populated with the with those flowers, but I don't want this whole thing to be completely populated, like randomly distributed with flowers. I just want certain parts of it to be populated, right? So I will need to revisit this. But before I do, I will actually, let's do it this way. So we have the surface here. I will go to top view, and I will create a new surface. And I will say that it starts at 0. Let me turn off the ortho snap. Starts at 0. And it's like, how much do we do? Let's do 50 meters by 50 meters. Everything else we can hide later on. So 50 meters in millimeters is 50,000. So 50,000 times 50,000. Oh God. So this site is quite huge. Huh. Okay, sure. Let's do 100 by 100 then. Oh, not like that. Scale it up by 2. There we go. Okay, that's better. So this is going to be my overall overall shape, right? My overall landscape, and only certain part. And let me double check if this guy is actually flat. It is completely flat. Okay, that's good to know. That means everything will work here as expected. So this region right here that I just drew is going to be where the plants will be populated, right? So let me reference it in as a curve, CRV. I'll just reference it in, set one curve, just like that. So that's the region, and let me group it and call it region for plants. There we go. And I will make it into a surface. So I'll just use boundary surface tool here and just kind of make it into a surface. And we don't really care that it's, you know, it's intersecting here. That's fine. We will fix that in just a second by just actually modeling the surroundings. But right now we just need a region in which the plants are going to be placed. All right, so we have a surface here, and I will actually populate geometry. I will populate it with random number of points. Not random distribution with exact number of points, and I will just say let's go for 500 right now, and we will be increasing it drastically later on. Which one is faster? Populate 2D. $500. Yeah, same shit. Okay, doesn't matter. So we will use this one. We have 500 points. The thing is that right now, all of these points are being populated on, you know, throughout this whole region uniformly, and it's not great because some of them go on the whatchamacallit, on the road, and others go inside of the building and so on. So we don't need it. So we will create a picture, an image, which is weird, I know, but it will make sense, I promise. So I will open up Photoshop now, and while it's opening up, I will zoom out a bit. Which one should we? Maybe shaded view and turn off the curves for now. Yeah, that seems to be okay. So we have this image right here, and I will do view capture to file. View capture to file, and resolution, I will actually go for a pretty damn high resolution, so I will go for 4K. I'll just say 4000 by 4000, something like that. Just make sure that everything fits inside of that screen. I need the region to fit. Hit OK, and I'll just save it into the desktop as my guide. Save. So it got saved. That's perfect. Back to perspective view, and now Photoshop is open, and I will drag and drop in my guide into Photoshop. So I have this thing going on, and now I just need to select from here to here. So I just need this. I can also use crop tool for this, but I'll just kind of cut it out, create a new file, paste it in, whatever. Right, so now we have a top view of our site, of our whole region, so we can work with it. And the thing that I'm going to do is I'll create a mask with white and black colors, which will specify where the plants are going to be placed. So everything that is white is where these plants are going to be placed, and everything that is black is, you know, they won't be placed there. So let me show an example. For instance, and how do we? First of all, I want to create a new layer, and here I will just specify with white color, or should we do black? Wait, I'm thinking. Let's do it real quick. This is a tutorial, for fuck's sakes. So I'll just specify this region, for instance, here, which is the road and the house, as a black region, meaning that no flowers should grow here. And you don't need to be precise, nothing in nature is precise. Something like that, whatever. Actually, let's do it this way. That. And then goes until here and finishes off here. Okay, so I've marked out the region, and then I will just edit, fill. Okay, that's white, so Control I to invert. That's black. That's good. So we have one region done, and then I'm gonna do the same with the second region, which is our house. So I will just mark it out from here to here. As you can see, I'm not being accurate at all. Like that, and that. There we go. I believe it's Fn Shift F5. Yeah, Control I. So we have something like this going on. And now let me create a new layer, drag it below the black spots, and I will also Fn Shift F5. I will fill it with white, right? So now we have this this image right here, which is basically everywhere where we will have white, the plants will appear, and everywhere where we have black, the plants will not appear, right? So we can come back to this image and readjust it in any way we want. I find this to be quite useful. Also, I'll just do this. I don't know why, but I like doing that. And also, I don't want to have any sharp corners here, so I will go to select, or rather to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and just increase the blur a bit. Yeah, just something like that. That seems to be a-okay. Let me save this file as a JPEG. I'll just call it tutorial 2020 36 this distribution. Save. Sure, whatever, hit OK. And I won't close Photoshop because we might need it along the way later on. But now we do have that distribution. And let me show you all of the points here. So the points are there. And let me show you the distribution, right? So we need to reference in that image. So I will use a tool that's called Image Sampler. That is not the Image Sampler tool. Try again, Image Sampler. There we go. Which of course will ask you to what kind of image do you want. So I'll wait. I will right click on it, and I will choose Image option, and then I'll navigate to my distribution image and hit open, just like that. Okay, so we have that done, and then I need to double click on it and change a few settings here and there. The main setting that I need to change is the domain. So right now the domain is set to be between 0 and shit. How do we Yeah, sure. Between 0 and 1, I need that domain to be the domain of this rectangle right here, right? So it's the size of the rectangle is 100,000 by 100,000 right now. So I think if we set it to 100,000 millimeters here and 100,000 millimeters, that's not 100,000 millimeters here, it will kind of work. We will see. It should kind of work. And then the last thing that I want to change is, instead of RGB colors, I want to use color brightness, because we only deal with color brightness here. Okay, so color brightness, hit OK, should be good to go. Oh yeah, and we need to give it something, so I will give it the population, the points for this image to be evaluated at, just like that. All right, so now we need, basically what it does, it just overlays an image below those points, and it will, for every point, it will say how bright the pixel is underneath that point, right? So then I can, and the brightness will be between 0 and 1, 0 being black, 1 being white, 0.5 being gray. So I need to say points that are, values that are rather less or larger than 0.5, let's say. So what kind of values are, what kind of points have values larger than 0.5? And we can use those answers, you know, is it larger than 0.5, true or false? We can use those answers to cull pattern, so to cull all of the points that are lower, that have a brightness lower than 0.5, right? So the list that we cull is our points, you know, our population of points, and let me hide the points. And cull pattern is going to be larger than output right here. So now you can see this happens. What the fuck? Oh, right. Okay. So this happens because it is correct, but it's off center, right? It's kind of moved to the side, as if this image was moved to the side. The reason why it happens is because, is there a preview? What's a preview? I don't know. The reason why this happens is because here we start at 0 and here we start at 0, right? So everything in this image needs to start, or everything in this model, the bottom left corner of this whole region, of this whole model, needs to be at 0, 0, 0. And right now it's not. So what I will do, freaked out, huh? Let me hit OK. I will fix it. But what I need to do is I need to turn this on. So I have everything here set up. I need to take the bottom left corner of my region and move it to 0, just like that. And then I can turn off the curves again. So by doing so, what the hell are you connecting to? That's a very... Now that's a bug. That's a beautiful bug right there. Anyway, by doing so, now I have reframed the region to be aligned with where the image is placed, right? Because the placing of the image, again, it starts at 0, 0, and stretches out to 100,000, 100,000, which is this point right here, right? So the image and the region are both placed one on top of the other, and now it works. And now I can increase the resolution here so that you can see better. Yeah, sure, 1,000 points. Let me go to top view, go to wireframe, and you can see there's not a single point inside of the house or on the terrace, not a single point on my street, and not a single point around the perimeter. I can make it much sharper by decreasing this number, but if I decrease it too much, then some points will start appearing inside of the inside of the road and so on, right? So I can't go too much. 0.5 seems to do the trick though, so I'll keep it at 0.5. Finally, we have a bunch of points that work. So now we actually need to take our plans, our 7 plans that we have, and yeah, we just did this part. We need to take the 7 plans that we have and actually place them on top of those points. And that's this area right here, which is kind of boring, but needs to be done. So if you have Vray, and of course you need Vray for this tutorial, by the way. Oh, one more thing. Those plans, those 7 plans, they will be available for my Patreons, so you can check out the Patreon page in the video description. If you just register as a Patreon, you can download both the definition that we're going to do and the 3D models used for the definition, together with the materials, of course. Anyway, we need to reference in those proxies, right? So I'll go to geometry and I'll say Vray proxy mesh. You know, add the Vray proxy mesh like that, which basically asks for a file path, material, and scale, and base plane. You know, all of those. By default, the base plane is set to be world XY, which is perfect for us. We don't want it to be anywhere else. That's good. This is where it's going to be placed. File path and material, we need to deal with that. So I'll right click. Sure. I will right click on the node here and I'll choose show controls, which gives me the option to give it a file path, but it doesn't give me a material. What the heck? Okay, sure. I will just go to materials tab and I'll choose Vray material from file and just connect it like so. So we have one of these done, and perhaps we need 0.5. We probably need to have some slider for a scale, and actually let me create a much nicer slider, 0.5 to 1.5. So it can be 1.5, 150% of its size or 50% of its size. Okay, we have this done and we have 7 plants in total. So I'll just take this guy and copy paste. That's 2, that's 4. Yeah, I know. You could do this with a data tree, but in my maybe in the new version it works better, but in the old one it didn't work at all. So I had to do it like this. I don't know. Strange. And now it's the boring part of going through the motions and just setting up all of these proxies. Plant 2, plant 3, plant 4, plant 5, plant 6. So the reason why I'm doing it separately like that, plant 7, all right, there's no plant 8. The reason why I'm doing it separately is that old version of Vray, well, not the old one, but the previous, I guess, version of Vray would freak out and would start assigning wrong materials to wrong proxies if we did it all in one node, right? So if we used multiple materials and multiple files with one node. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But that's fine. This is just like a, half a minute to do it, so it's not a big deal at all. Not a big deal. Okay, we have everything set up now, and I will merge everything into, nope, try again, merge everything into one big happy list, just like that. Perfect. So now we have everything merged, and then what do we do then? Oh yeah, then there is this package, not package, but then there is this whole thing. And actually, let me just copy, discard and close. No, I don't want to save changes. Paste it. I just want to see it side by side as I'm going to be working with this definition so that I don't miss anything. Okay, so we have all of these proxies merged and they all have materials assigned to them, which is great. And now we want to distribute them on these points randomly, right? So we have 7 proxies. We have, how many points do we have? We have 576 points here, and we just want to distribute the proxies onto these 576 points completely randomly, right? And how do we do that? I don't remember, honestly. Oh, there was a lot of things going on here. Oh, yeah, okay. So all of these guys here, they are like, the position of the points is completely random, right? It's shuffled completely, right? So even if I say, give me first point, second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point, sixth point, seventh point, and then give me first point, second point, right? Even if I divide them up into groups of 7, it's not going to, it's all going to be random. So I can do that. I can just say list item and just connect these points here. And right now this list item just gives me, actually, let me do a point node here, just so that you know that I'm working with a point. This list item right now just gives me the first point on the list, which is this guy right here. Sure, whatever. What if I want crap, my laptop battery ran out. Okay, we're back. So where were we? We have our 7 proxies here, we have our 100 or 576 points here, and we need to separate them. The way I want to do it is I want to have 7 different branches, I think. Let me double check. Yeah, sure. I want to have 7 different branches in the data tree, and in each branch I want to have every seventh point, right? So point. So point 0, point 6, point 15, point 22, point 29, and so on. Stop. So all of those points belong to one branch, and then point 1, point 7, 14.21. I will figure it out. Okay. Math is hard, okay? So the way I'm gonna do it is I will measure the list length. List length. I will measure the list length of our proxies. So basically I'll ask how many proxies do we have? 7, duh. And then I'll use series node to count from 0 until 7, right? Easy. Or from 0 until 6. Count 7 times. Easy. And I'll graph it. So what I get from it is basically I get 7 branches that says 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And now I will create one more series node here, and I'll plug in the output of the first series, this, into my second series node, like that, into the start of my second series node. So now I have 7 branches here, 7 data branches, which start counting from 0. Then the second branch starts counting from 1, third branch starts counting from 2, and so on, right? So they are kind of overlaying. That's great. If my step size in the branches is going to be 7 as well, like that, then neither one of these branches will overlay in terms of numbers, right? Because I have, for the first branch, I have 0, 7. Why is it 7? Why is it 7? You should start counting from 0. Wait. Zero, 1, 2, 0, 7, 14, 20. Yeah, sure, whatever. Don't care. It just works. Okay, so we have this, right? We have this working. But then the problem is the count. You know, what kind of value do we use for the count? Because right now, every instance, every proxy is just going to be used 10 times. Doesn't matter how many points you have, it's always going to be used 10 times, meaning you will always end up with 70 meshes here. Not great. So I need the count. And the count is basically, well, it's pretty easy. It's how many points we have, list length. So we have 576 points, divided by how many God damn it, divided how many proxies we have. So the answer is 82.28 and so on. And I will just, for the result, or can I add it for the count? Yes, I can. So the result is not a full number. I need the full number, so I'll do integer. I'll just connect the division to integer like so. Connect it to count. Right click on the count, input, expression, and just to be safe, I will choose x plus x plus 1, meaning that it's just going to, if it's rounding off to the smaller version of the number, it's going to just kind of add +1 to it just to be safe. Which means there are going to be awkward parts with this list item, because right now I can use this as my index input here for my list item, and you can see all of these points are glowing green, meaning all of them are being used, but now they are separated into 7 branches, and we have 7 proxies. Strange, huh? Anyway, some of them are duplicates. because of this +1 thing that I did here, but I needed to do it. So to get rid of the duplicates, I'll just right click on the wrap input here, and I'll choose set boolean false. So it doesn't, once it reaches the end of the list, it doesn't kind of come back to the beginning of the list. Okay, so we have that done. And actually, just to be, I know that you guys will probably miss it, so I'll just do it this way so that it's clear. Okay, we have 7 branches. Yay! Now we just need from this data structure here, and I probably need to group this up. Delete that one. From this data, I should kind of call it proxy list, and this one is point list raw, and then create a new one, point component, and this one is point list sorted, or not sorted, rather data structure. Good enough. I know that I misspelled that, but that's whatever. Okay, so we have 7 branches here, and let me simplify it. We have 7 branches here, we have 7 proxies here, but they are not in separate branches. So what I could do is I could just use the freaking graph and just separate them, or I can use list item like that, and just it does the same thing, and just connect the series to the index. So you can either use graph node like that, or use list item node like that. Doesn't matter which one. I'll use graph because it's, you know, it's cleaner. If I'm not wrong, let's see. I believe, yeah, there are going to be certain amount of nulls in the list of the data structure. So I will, right after my list item, I will use clean tree node, and nulls appear because just like that. Nulls appear when you remove something from the list, and in this case we are removing by not wrapping around the list, by using this as false. Doesn't matter. We have it working. Okay. So we have a data structure here, simplified 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we have our points here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. We don't have any variables here whatsoever, which is also great for us, and we're now right at this stage right here. Okay, so now let's start looking into how we can actually use those proxies on these points, and the tool that does that is called under Vray tab, under geometry, Vray Instancer, like that. Vray Instancer, which asks us for Vray geometry. Sure, we just give it the geometry, and it asks for move transformation, rotate transformation, and scale transformation. So it's basically transform values, right? It's you don't actually move it, but you use it's not vector data, it's transformation data. It's hard to explain it in any other way. Okay, how do we get move transformation? Let's start with that one first, because that's the easiest one. Not the easiest one, but rather the most intuitive one. So you have a bunch of points here, right? And all of your proxies are on the same base plane, which is world X, Y, right? So meaning that all of them are located right here. If I would make them, yeah. See, they're here. Which means I need to move from X, Y to all of these points. easy. I will definitely need, for move transformation, I will need a move node, like so, and I'll connect transform to transform here, like so. And then this is one of those times when we don't give a crap about geometry. We just care about motion, because we won't be moving anything. We just need a transform information. Okay, so move transformation. Transform from move connects to move transformation. Then for our motion, we will just say, okay, we will use vector between 2 points, right? And our point A is going to be that point at 0, 0, 0 coordinates, right? Point construct, come on, construct point. Construct point by default gives you a point at 0, 0, 0 coordinates. So that's our point A from where we move. And point B to where we move is our point list data, right? So that's our point B. That's it. Honestly, that's it, right? You end up with can't really there it is. So now all of these proxies are going to be moved to all of these points, right? Randomly or pseudo randomly. Okay. We have that, and actually let's render it out. We haven't rendered it out in, still haven't rendered it out. I want to see how it looks like. So to render it out, we have V-Ray geometry here. We go to render tab, we choose V-Ray render, like that. It has a bunch of inputs here. If you want to mess around with them, you can. I won't. Instead, I will just connect V-Ray geometry to V-Ray geometry input here, like so. Where I have my scene, I will create a new node and called V-Ray render in project, and that's a long description. But basically, what it does is, if you don't have that node set, it's just going to ignore everything that is inside of the project and just render out the things that you see here. If you have it set like that, then all of those objects are going to be transferred. Okay, so it took me a while, but now I know what's wrong with this. Apparently, with the new update of V-Ray, it's freaking out because of the materials. It's a bug, and it's crashing because it can't read the material from a file. So we need to actually get the materials for the V-Ray proxies into wait, what am I doing here? Yeah, it needs to get the materials into the freaking V-Ray asset editor, and then we need to reference in the materials from V-Ray asset editor into Grasshopper. What can you do? It's not a perfect tool by any stretch of imagination. So here I've got rid of file number 1 or plant number 1 because I messed that one up completely while testing out. So I will here just do it with plant number 7. And right now, if I were to, let's see, render this out, you can see plant number 7 is kind of rendering out, and I'm not doing any part here. I'm just rendering out a single plant because I need to make sure that it works. So this whole tutorial is going to be a troubleshooting tutorial, I guess. And now for the material, if I were to use material from file, it would crash again. So we will not be doing that. Instead, we will choose material from project. Here, I'll connect it like so. So now nothing is happening, of course. But if I go to Vray Asset Editor and I click on Open and navigate and open the material, and navigate to, I believe we're dealing with plant number 7, this guy right here, hit open, like that. These 3 materials load up, so it's actually the main one is here, and the 2 ones are referenced in ones are here. So I need to use the main one, field plant 7 material. Field plant 7, and here for Vray material from project, I choose field plant 7 material. Like that. And now it's rendering out properly. So let me stop the render for now, and I will do the same thing for other 5 remaining plants. Again, I messed up the plant number 1, don't worry about it. So we'll be dealing with only 6 here. That's fine. I'll enable all of these. I will delete material from file for all of these plants, and instead I will use material from project, just like that. Let me actually copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, connect, 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 connect. And now we need to load in. So plant 2 material, load in plant 3, load in plant 4, load in plant 6, load in plant 7 is already loaded in, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so we have 2, 3, 4, oh, I forgot 5, load in plant 5. There we go. And now I don't really need to see anything here, so I'll just close the asset editor, and instead I will choose here. So plant 2, let's find field plant 2 material, plant 3 material, plant 4, plant 5, and plant 6. Okay. Whew. We have that going on. So now just to check, we can do, well, first of all, let's save the document here and save it here, just like that. There we go. And now let's check. So I will start rendering like that. So now plant 7 is loaded in as Vray geometry here to render out. Let's see plant 2. Yeah, works well. Plant 3, sure. Plant 4, yeah. 5, okay, great. And 6. And 6 is a bit boring, but that's whatever. Okay, so all of this is working, and let me stop the render. And now we will pray, because we will be enabling all of this. And what the heck is this? Oh, right, this was just me testing out which parts are broken, so we don't need that sphere here. Like that. We connect Vray, of course, the output of this one to here, like so. And just hope for the best, I guess. Let's see all of the points. Oh, it's already here. So right now I don't have a lot of points, and that's actually good. I don't, we need to make sure that it works with this amount of points before we go for full-on meadow. So save everything again. Now I'm being very cautious. Hit the render button. Can kind of see some parts there. Let me zoom in. Are you there though? Let's find something to zoom in here. Zoom selected, that's good. Hello, plant. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. So that works. That works nicely. Actually, let me do. Let me create a box just to see the size of it, and I'll just add, let's say, 30 centimeters to the box. Yeah, the scale is right. The scale is correct. Okay, that's good. So we have that part done. And now let's see how much we can do. So now we were dealing with 100. Let's try 1,000 plants. And let's try rendering again. Okay. So 1,000 works. So that means, you know, we can go further and further. Before I do that, though, I will want to actually just work on a few ones. So I will be deleting. I don't want this whole field to just be made out of those plants. I want some hotspots here and there. So in my Photoshop file, I will actually add a new layer. I'll go to filter, render clouds, like that. Control T to transform. I'll stretch them out with the shift key, like that. I will use multiply and Control L to change the layers, levels, just like that. So we're getting rid of a few spots here and there. I'll save. JPEG, distribution, save, replace it, of course, hit OK. Let's keep it here. So now it looks like that. That's much better. There's one point there, but that's fine. And now we can create more points here. So let's try 5,000. 5 times more. Add it to count. It takes a while, so let's just wait. There we go. That's 5,000. That's definitely not enough plants, and it already takes so long to generate those points. Maybe there's a faster way, but I don't think there is. Again, let's try populate 2D with 5,000 points. Yeah, that's the same shit. Okay, so we don't care. We have that. We do have that. Whew. Test it out, or do we first? Let's do this first. Planar surface. So I create a planar surface. I will select this surface right here. Or maybe let's just do it. I'll do it quick and dirty way. Like that, that. Oh, that. What would be a quick and dirty way? Let me log the surface for now. Basically, I just want to cut out a hole in it. Let me trim, or not trim, duplicate edge. So give me that edge, give me this edge right here. We don't need it to be perfect. That, and also this. Okay, enter. So we have the curves here. Project to C-plane. Delete input objects. Yes. So we have a trimming curve. Let me group it. Or it's a set of curves. Unlock. let's hide everything for now. Just create a new layer. Where's my curve? There's the curve. Oh my god, there we go. Add everything to a new layer so that we can hide the furniture layer there, and let's use these curves to trim. I wonder if this will work. It does. Okay, that's good. That's all I needed, just to cut away that part. So now we have the surrounding site. All right, this is turning to be a really long tutorial. Sorry about that. Let me save this and save that. Actually, everything that I have here on the scene, I'll just add, I'll just create a new material, a generic one, and just say like all, whatever, some sort of give it some sort of name and just apply it to everything in the scene, just like that. What else? We need a sunlight, so I'll just create a sunlight on manual control, maybe 45 degrees, maybe southwest. That's good. Now we need to go to settings, go to environment tab, and instead of regular environment, we will use sky. And I believe the camera also needs to be 13. Set to be 13 so that it's proper. Okay, now it's time to finally zoom in. So as you can see, the placement of points, it's far from ideal right now, but it is what it is. Let's hit render just to see. Okay, so we're getting there, right? We can see this whole thing coming together quite nicely. It's still a very boring render, but we will make it nice. So first thing is density, but before we deal with density, I want to add some grass perhaps. So to add grass, this is not a grass tutorial, so I'll just do it real quick. I'll just select my geometry on which I want to add the grass. So this and this. Maybe I don't want to add grass to the large one, just this one, just the site. And then we will go to, no, we won't. Here in the top right corner, we have add fur, so we'll use fur as grass. Add fur to selection, so I've just added fur to this surface right here. And then we will go to our geometry tab, we'll choose fur, and I will say per area. Okay, so this is count per square millimeter. I will start with 0.01, no, 0.001. So 0.001 blades per 1 square millimeter, just to, I think it's going to be once per every square 10 centimeters, something like that. I might be wrong. I will disconnect this scene node here so that my plants don't render out now, because all I care about now is grass. And now let's see. So length is 4 millimeters, which is way too small, but instead of messing around with length, thickness, and so on, I'll just change the global scale to, so if it's 10, it's 4 centimeters. If it's 50, it's 20 centimeters. That's a little bit too much, so let's do 25. Everything else here you can mess around, you know, you can add the density map to it and so on. This is not a tutorial about it, we're just doing a very simple grass. For material, I will just create a new material, generic, and I'll call it grass. And for this material, I'll just specify a diffuse color that's going to be perhaps a fall off color with dark green here, and the sides of it are going to be light green, like so. Maybe a bit more intense, yeah, like that. Okay, so that's my grass material. Let's go back to fur object, and I'll choose grass as my material for the fur object. Let's render it out, just see how it works. Hello, grass. Where are you, grass? Are you there? You are there. You are upside down. Why are you upside down? Because this surface is flipped. So I'll flip the surface, and now grass is growing upwards. Basically, in Rhino, I just typed in flip. And this is, the density is not great. And also, I believe the thickness is a bit questionable. No, the thickness is fine. The density is bad. So let's increase the density, not 10 times, but like 5 times. So 0.005 should be pretty good. So now it's, yeah, that's fine. It's a little bit synthetic, so let me change the material. This dark one should be a bit warmer and a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more like that. Yeah, that looks like grass, I guess. For the ground and so on, we can change the materials later. For now, this is fine. Now we have grass. Let us stop the render. Now I will keep saving it like every 5 seconds because it's now we know that it's a crashy boy. So that I'll connect this to the scene. Let's do a test render. Come on, test render. It's compiling the geometry. It takes a while. Okay, and it's doing its thing, right? So it's kind of working. Okay. Okay, we can deal with this. We can deal with this indeed. So shall we increase the amount of proxies? I think we shall. What do you say? 10 times more? That would be 50,000. Let's do not 10. Let's do 25,000 points. Now I'm just thinking if there's a faster way of how to create 25,000 points. Oh man, it took like 3 minutes to calculate 25,000 points, which is way too long for my comfort. We will need to figure that one out. But right now, let's just see if it works. So it's gonna compile, it's gonna build, it's gonna render, and yeah, that's definitely more, but I need even more. So that's not great. 3 minutes is way too long. Let's see if anyone else populate, if anyone else 3D populate points, Grasshopper slow. Let's see if anyone else has problems. It seems that they do. 50,000 points, 14 minutes. Yep. There's an old discussion here. Oh, there's a C# component. 100,000 points in 1 second. Okay. We can steal this. We can definitely steal this. So if you just, for those of you who are not Patreon supporters and who will not be downloading the files and you're working on your own, if you want a faster one, you just go to the forums and search for why populate geometry is so slow, and then you just get this this code here. Calc area of second triangle, calculate areas of triangles, get points into a nice concise format. This one is just dead. Sure, let's just download that Grasshopper file. I'll just do it that way and drag and drop it into our Grasshopper. That's what we have. No data as an output. Yikes. Wait, no, there is data. Okay. So we need a mesh, we need and we need a variable. So I'll just borrow this guy right here, copy into our script, paste. Where are you? There it is. Let's just see. Oh no, Control Z. So it needs a mesh. We have a surface here, but we can just do mesh from a surface. We can just, come on. We can just create a mesh from a surface. That's easy. Plug it in like so. Let me close that. And instead of this one, we'll just see if it works or not. So instead of this one, we will be using the C# tool here. So how many? We did 25,000. So let's just see 1,000. Ooh, that's fast. Okay, and A is the output, so I'll plug in A here and plug in A here. Ooh, that is so super fast. Okay, YOLO, 25,000, why not? Okay, that works. That works great. Nice. So that means we can go for 100,000. You know, 1 second. Jeez, that's so much better. So we have 100,000 now. Points. Well, actually not 100,000. We have 30,000 that are left here, and this is them. And let's just see. So I will save this guy here. I'll save this guy here. 30,000 proxies is a big deal, you know, if it will manage to render out. Actually, I want a task manager to be present so that I can see my how my memory deals with that. Let's find an angle. Let's find a nice angle. Something like that, maybe. Yeah. And let's just hit that button and see. Let's just see. Nice. We have it working. We have it working, and that indeed looks like a meadow. I'm happy. Okay. This tutorial has been going on for a while, so I will not be, I'll definitely not be continuing on showing you all the different tips and tricks. But one last thing is all of these proxies are now being placed, you know, in the same orientation, in the same scale, and so on. There's no variation within the proxies, so we can do that before we finish up. That's the rotate transformation and scale transformation options here. So for rotate transformation, we will be using rotate plane, rotate object in a plane, like that. Oh, no, shit, disconnect. you don't connect the geometry, you connect the transform, of course. And we probably need to, what do we need to do? We need to disconnect the scene so that it's not laggy. Okay, so we have rotation, and the angle is going to be in degrees, and it's going to be a random number or series of random numbers ranging between 0 to 360. That's 360. There we go. That's our range. And now the question is, what's the number, right? What kind of number do we use? So the number is going to be how many points we have for each branch within each branch of our data tree. So I'll just measure list length like that and just generate a bunch of points. Okay, a bunch of random values. So that's random rotation. For random scale, we will just be using scale. Connect transform to scale transformation like that. Still takes a while to calculate. That's fine. Just wait. Okay. Then our factor is also going to be a random number. But here I'll just change the seed to like something else, seed 3, so that they are not the same random values. And the range is going to be between 0.8 until 1.2. I don't want the range to be too much. And number is going to be the same list length, right? Like that. And group that. That's our random rotation. So we have movement, we have rotation, we have scale. Now we're done. Now we are done. I will be, what's going on there? Okay, that's fine. I will be uploading this to Patreon, of course, as per usual, but also as per usual, you can just check it out on my, you can follow along and just create one by yourself, but this is the principle of it and how it works. And now I will continue on recording just to show you, the not the final process, but basically how I make it pretty, because right now it's not really that pretty. How I make it pretty, and yeah, that's gonna be it. I'll just put on some music and speed up the video. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one.